There are harpoons on the market besides ours. There's a few commercially made harpoons out there. There's a lot of homemade harpoons out there. The main advantage of what a harpoon is starting out with the head. This head weighs over 2 pounds. It's made out of machined, chrome-plated brass, and when you feel it, you feel how it packs a punch. And basically, you have a heavy head with a lightweight shaft. And I equate it to people, it's like taking a baseball, tying a string to it, and when you throw that baseball, the baseball pulls the string through the air. The same theory is used in our harpoon and how it's designed. The other nice feature of the harpoon is everything has a universal thread on it, so it doesn't matter which way that the harpoon is assembled. You can take the head here, attach it to the shaft, simply pop it in, thread it right down, locks into place just like that. On the flip side, it also breaks down into 2 4-foot sections. We have a coupler. This coupler was designed basically to retain the structural integrity of the 2 pipes. This inner part here is machined to mil specs below the inside diameter of the pipe. So when everything's put together, it's the strongest connection you can have between 2 pipes. And again, with the universal thread, it doesn't matter which way this is all assembled, it all fits together. Simply take your head, your other shaft, the second shaft, threads right into the harpoon. Tighten that up. And that's the most solid connection you can get for this 1-inch shaft. This will not bend. It retains the structural integrity of the pipe, allows for 0 deflection, so when you throw the harpoon, it's not darting side to side because everything is streamlined in 1-inch scenario. And the end cap, very simply, threads onto the end of the harpoon and locks into place. And that's it. 10 feet overall. The other clear advantage of the POON Harpoon is how fast it can be assembled. This harpoon can be in its storage bag and assembled in less than 2 minutes. I'll show you exactly how that's done here. We have the shank, which goes onto the harpoon head. Simply slide that in, twist that down, so that locks into place, nice and snug. Got your shaft with the universal thread. It doesn't matter which way the harpoon goes together. There's not one side. Everything fits together nice and quick and easily. Take your coupler, spin that down. Your other shaft goes into the opposite end of the coupler. And finally, the end cap. And that is it. One 10-foot harpoon that stores into a smaller than a 4-foot package. Now this is where we're going to attach the dart to the harpoon. Simply place the dart over the end of the shank. That's going to fit loosely, so by fitting loosely, it can attach into the fish and fall off nice and easily. But you need to hold the dart onto the harpoon shaft in order to make sure that the dart doesn't fall off before it hits the fish. What we like to do, simply take some electrical tape. I'd start out taking 1 wrap to hold the dart in place. Simply go around once, twice, pull that tight. That's the initial holding point of the dart. Then from there, I'll take the tape and very lightly go around once. And before I get around to the top, I spiral it up the harpoon shaft. About a foot or so. Wrap it around, lock it back in tight, pop it tight. What the spiral does is once the fish is hit and takes off, this allows the line to steadily pop, 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 pop off of the shaft. What can happen, sometimes people put too much tape and they have trouble getting the line to pop off the shaft. The only purpose of the line or the tape is to keep the line and the dart attached to the harpoon prior to sticking a fish. After it hits the fish, you want to get this line off the harpoon dart as soon as possible. And as I spoke earlier about the end cap, The advantage of the end cap is you take this clip that to the harpoon line. What this allows to do is, this is the attachment point for the harpoon to the dart and the main line. That way the harpoon comes back once it sticks a fish. This keeps the whole thing together. It avoids you using two lines, one for the harpoon, one for the dart line, because inevitably they will just get tangled. This is easily the quickest, fastest, simplest way to rig up a harpoon that we've found. All right, guys, one of the first questions we get in regards to harpoon is how to rig up the end cap. It's just like anything else. Everyone has their methods that they prefer. This is the way that we prefer to do it because it makes using the harpoon much easier. The first thing we do is we take a loop, and it could be heavy mono, it could be 3-strand line with the loop spliced in it. Either way, the end result is you need to get a loop in the end of the harpoon cap. After that loop, because this is going to be used to attach the main line for the harpoon line, after we put the loop on, we take a simple carabiner safety line clip. It can be found at any West Marine or Marine stores. Make sure you get a stainless steel clip just so it doesn't get corroded and whatnot. We take that clip it onto the loop, and that gives us the end result on the harpoon end cap. And when all right, guys, another question that we get quite often in regards to the harpoon is basically what type of basket to use and how it's set up. And we strongly recommend using a basket. A lot of guys do just tie it up to a cleat. We don't recommend that for the reason if a fish takes off, there's a good chance you pull the dart if it comes solid to stop on a cleat. The general ball and basket setup we use is simply take a regular milk crate that you can find pretty much anywhere. We fill it with 200 to 300 feet of 5/16 3-strand rope. Key is to have it coiled up nice and neat, layered, so when the fish does take off, the line flows out of the basket nice and easily. There's a couple of tricks that we use to our baskets to make it easier for storage and that type stuff. First thing we do is, this is an A1 polyball. This is a nice size because it fits inside the basket nice and neat, keeps it so it's not overflowing out of the basket. It falls into a nice, convenient package. So at the bottom of the harpoon end line, we splice the line, give it a big enough loop so in turn it can fit over the A1 polyball. I'll show you how that happens here. So you just take the splice loop, pass it through the hole in the polyball, create a loop around the ball, pull that tight, and you're connected. It's as simple as that. This way we like to, versus splicing it directly to the ball, this allows you to pull the ball off, you use it as a fender or type thing on your boat when you don't need it for the harpoon. It's a real quick and simple, easy way to do it. The part where we attach the line is same thing. We just put a smaller splice in the 5/16 line, and that's mainly to basically allow you to attach a dart. And if you're catching multiple fish, a lot of times, especially with the tunas, if the dart's inside the fish, you just leave it in the fish because it doesn't make sense to cut a $8 dart out of a $4,000 fish. So we generally always have plenty of darts on hand. What we do with our two knots is we got two loops set up like this, and we're just going to do a simple loop-to-loop knot. So you take one end of the loop, go through, take the other end through here, and that locks tight, and a nice, clean, almost a square knot, loop-to-loop. This allows you to detach the loop very easily. If you need to cut it inside the fish, you just take this off, pull the loop out, attach a new dart. And we recommend 200 to 300 feet of line. More often than not, it's plenty. Most fish, when they get stick, they pretty much stop dead, but you want to have it versus not having it, and have it at your disposal just in case you do stick a green fish that takes a lot of line, pull the ball over, and then you can follow your ball and hand line them back in. We found that this is the simplest, easiest way for connect the dart to the main line and the ball. Cut.